All right, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, who rule and teach well. And peace, love, and salutations to the men out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity. This is your brother Nathaniel from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. And I pray and hope that this lesson is edifying. This lesson is in regard to this TikTok that I came across. It's a young woman, young Israelite woman, and she's basically speaking in regard to Esau, Edom, and his history and how he obtained everything. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this video, and then we're gonna grab some precepts, and Lord willing, you brothers are edified.
It just hit me that at some point in human history, a white man learned that he could achieve through violence things he was unable to achieve through merit. And the entirety of modern civilization fails to be a meritocracy because they can't compete where they don't compare. I would like to be yeeted off the planet. The fuck?
Now, we've been saying these things through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. We know we've been talking about these things for years, man. Since
it just hit me that at some point in human
since
history,
High Priest Ariyah and King Marsha, when they came on the scene, the elders and the apostles, the great millstone, we've been telling you about this devil's history, but as the scriptures talk about the prophets, we basically don't get no love shown to us on our own land. So when you discover it, it's a big ass revelation. But we've been speaking about these things for years. But you have to understand that this was the spirit of the so-called white man from the very beginning. And I'm gonna start off with Genesis, because you have to understand too that, and I'm gonna let's just read it right quick. And we're gonna start at Genesis. We're gonna start at the top, and it says Genesis 4:1. It says, "And Adam knew Eve his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I've gotten a man from the Lord. And she bare his brother Abel, and Abel was the keeper of the sheep, and Cain was tiller of the ground." All right. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel also brought the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof. So, and the Lord had respect unto Abel and his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. So I'm explaining this a little bit to you. The condition of Cain's sacrifice was subpar, you see. But Abel, if you look at it, it says that he brought the firstlings of his flock and the fat thereof, which means he brought the best of the best of the best to present it to the Lord. He didn't bring no secondary shit, and the condition of his heart was like, I'm happy to make this sacrifice unto the Lord. You can tell just by reading this text that what Cain brought was, probably some leftover shit, that he probably was going to be trash anyway, or something like that, and tried to offer it unto the Lord. Like, I'm just going to burn it anyway, so it doesn't matter, if it's the best or if it's not, So that could have been the condition, but ultimately it was the condition of his sacrifice, the intention of his sacrifice, that made it to where the Lord didn't accept it. Because, to bring the best of the best to the Lord as an offering, man, you gotta be happy to do that shit, man. Like, yeah, I'm about to offer this to the Lord. This is the best of the best of the best. This is my sacrifice. I'm about to get this to the Lord. And it says, verse 6, and it says, "And the Lord said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? And this is the point. It says, if thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. Now, who is the wicked upon the earth? Well, it's Esau. And Esau inherited the spirit of Cain. You see? And Esau is a so-called white man. You know? So he doesn't, and we're going to get into how he doesn't compare. You know, he doesn't do well. He wasn't designed to do good. He was designed to be the wicked of the earth. So that's why he was the mystery of iniquity for such a long time. But now we understand that this man is the motherfucking devil that the Bible speaks of. Okay? So he's not accepted. He wasn't accepted because he would, like, if you look at the history of the so-called white man, he's been pushed out of every fucking country in the world. Everyone. Because he is the original can't get right. He cannot do well. He always turns up to have a murderous intention. He always wants to take your place, not based off of his own merit and his hard work, but off of jealousy and envy. You see what I'm saying? Thinking he deserved it just because it's there. I deserve that because it's there, not because I earned it, because it exists. So because it exists, it should be mine. And that's the mentality of the so-called white man, you see? So when she said that, you know, they've learned that they can obtain things by violence and not by merit, well, this is why. Because he can't obtain things by merit. You see? He can't do it. He's not been accepted throughout the world, man. This is why he's hidden his identity about who he was for so long, you know? Because the rest of the world knows about his history. So he had to deceive the world into believing that he was someone that he wasn't in order for him to come into the position that he's in right now. Okay, the so-called white man has two gifts. He has his primary gift, which is the sword, and his secondary gift, which is deception. That's why he's the devil. You know, he's the father of lies. Okay? So it says, if thou doest well, shall thou not prosper, shall not thou be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. You see? So Cain, he didn't have an acceptable spirit. Okay? This is why it went on to where Cain had killed Abel and so on and so forth, because it was the spirit of jealousy. It's the same shit that happens now with the so-called white man. This is why the scriptures say, you know, basically paraphrase, it says, don't let this man stand over you, least he wants to take your place, you know, roughly paraphrasing. You know, and that's the so-called white man. He's covetous. He wants to take everything. Just because it exists, he thinks that it should be his. Not because he earned it, because it's there. And it doesn't matter if you earn it. It doesn't matter if it's yours. Okay? Now go on here. Micah 2:1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and the evil work upon their beds. When it is morning, it is light. They practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Which basically means that he has the control. Okay? And why? And this is why right here. He says, and they covet fields and take them by violence, because it's not by merit. You know, you can't be such a well-renowned person. You can't be so good and so kind and so gentle and ultimately so godly that people want to become contributaries to you because of what you contribute to the world. You do so much that it makes people say, man, this is just a good king, man. He's such a good ruler. We want to give him this. Because that is possible, for people to love you so much that they'll give you everything because you're so good to them. But no. You see? For instance, all of the inventions that was created by Jake, you know, the combustible motor, the filament of the light bulb, the computer, the cellular phone, GPS, the hot curler, refrigeration technology, the stoplight, asphalt. I mean, I can go on and on about all the inventions that Jake created, right? Whether it be a Judite or Issacharite, you know, all the way down the line. The things that Jake has created and Esau has taken credit for. Because he cannot compare. As the young woman said, he cannot compare. He ain't got it. What he has is the ability to deceive and the ability to kill. That's what Esau, that's what he's been blessed with, and we're going to get that. Okay? And it says it right here. We're going to read it again. It says, they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses, and they take them away, so that they oppress a man and his house, a man and his heritage. They even steal your history. They even take your history from you and rewrite it and say it was their history. You see, because they are covetous and they're envious. You know, they want what everyone else has. Okay? And because of that, as it says, and we're going to get that too, as it says in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, he cannot be satisfied. You see, satisfaction and gratification comes when you earn it, when you put in forth the effort to create it, to make it. Then you can say, I made that. You know? Then you can say, I did something with that. Okay, hold on for 1 second. Y'all better stop that screaming. Okay? Stop that screaming. Salakia. All right, so going back to this, recapping, they rewrite your history and make it their history. You see, because they covet everything. All right, they covet everything. All right, and why? So let's go here. Let's go to Job, the 30th chapter. And let's start at the 3rd verse. It says, for want and famine they were solitude, fleeing into the wilderness in former times, desolate and waste, because they were pushed out from all of the other nations. You can go into their history, you can see that the so-called white man has been pushed out of every single nation. They've been dismissed, okay? It wasn't until the Renaissance that where the Lord had released him from the bottomless pit, so to speak. All right. During the Renaissance, where he came back, and that's when he started to deceive the world into him being something that he wasn't. All right. It says they were driven forth from among men. You see, they were driven forth from among men. Are they the sons of the sons of men and the sons of God, the Israelites? They were driven forth from because they were wicked. You can't deal with these niggas. These niggas will never get right. Okay? No matter what they do, they are always going to be the wicked. It is inherently in them to be an evil people. Okay? It is inherently in them to be an evil people. It says, to dwell in the clefts of the valleys, in the caves of the rocks, Mount Seir. Among the bushels they braved, under the nettles they were gathered. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. You see that? So they were base men. And I'm going to get that precept. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. Where the Lord says that they're actually the basis of men. This is Daniel 4. This is Daniel 4 and 17. It says, this is the matter decreed of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomever he will, and setteth over it the bases of men. Now, didn't I just read in Job where it says that they were base men? Children of fools. So the Lord gave the basis of men the world, and he set them up as the ruler. So now you can understand, now that he has the power, he wants to take everything from everybody. He wants everything for himself. And he doesn't have the merit to obtain tributaries that will give to him based off of his merit. So he has to take it by force. And this is why you have so many things set up to steal and rob from you. It's just a system, a machine that's set up to steal, rob, and take from you. Why? Because this devil is a thief and a liar. And his whole entire existence is based off of taking from others. Okay? And robbing others. Because he cannot obtain it on his own. The Lord didn't put that in him. Okay? The Lord created him to be the wicked. As it says the King David said, Lord, please save me from the wicked, which is thy sword. Their vessels are created for destruction, fitted for destruction. Okay? But our people, we telling you this, and we've been telling you this shit for years. Now you're just now discovering it. So, big epiphany. Oh, wow, so-called white man now. Well, he can't get it because he can't compare to the rest of the world. Of course he can't. Of course he can't. He's a warmonger. This is why the whole entire time this man has been in existence, the world has been at war. Okay? America, I think it's only been like maybe 3 or 4 years that there hasn't been any war since America been in power. I'm not 100% sure. But if you look at the world as a whole, since this devil has come into power, there has been consistent war. There hasn't been any peace. And we're going to get that in Revelation 6. Okay? So then, when you go to Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, I went to the wrong one. Go back upstairs, boy. Okay? Stay in your room. It says, behold, this is Habakkuk 2 and 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. This is why we don't react. This is why the just doesn't react to what this devil does. Because, the prophets and the men of the Lord, we can pick up swords, but we're living by the faith of the Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We want the Lord to do what he said he was going to do and deliver us in grand fashion from this devil. Okay? So we're living by the faith and our belief the Lord is going to save us from this shit, man. Because we ain't got no teeth anyway. We can't do nothing. This devil has been given all the fucking power, man. Okay? But look at what he's done with it. His position is he's not upright. Okay? It says, verse 5, it says, yea, also he transgresseth by wine. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. That's just why he's all over the fucking world, man, and everybody else's shit, because he has to have everything for himself. Okay? He can't have nothing. No one else can have anything. He has to be in control over every single thing because he's the devil. And our people still really hadn't discovered who this man is. You're still trying to save this man that's causing all this stuff. Like right now, right? Over there in Europe, they're saying that the refugees from Europe, the Europeans, these are smart people. These are intelligent people. These aren't terrorists. They're Europeans. But then not too long ago when the refugees that of a brown skin were fleeing Afghanistan and various countries of dark-skinned countries, they're terrorists. We can't do nothing for these people, right? Because they have dark-colored flesh. You see? He's a damn hypocrite. So now that the Europeans are going to war, a different day, a different topic for a different day, but just roughly mentioning it, now that the Europeans are fleeing their countries, now they're so good and wholesome and wonderful. No, they're evil, man. They're wicked, man. All of them are. Every one of them, the seed of these damn devils are evil. Every single one of them, including the women. Okay? It says, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell and is as death. Yeah. He can't get it through merit. He has to take it by violence. And you dying and him living and taking what you got is okay with him. You got a beautiful wife like the Native Americans did? Okay, let's kill the men and take their women. Let's kill their children. Let's hang a Judite woman upside down and slit her open and stomp on her baby after we burn her alive because she's protesting that y'all lynched her husband for no goddamn reason. So we're going to kill her too. You see? This is the devil, man. This man has so much to pay for, and y'all are not just now realizing the validity, the magnitude of how evil this nigga is. And you say you want to get beamed up off the planet. Well, yeah, that's the whole game plan. If Yahweh Shai to come back and beam us up off this place, man. There's a spirit that she said that because that is the end game for the Israelites. We want to get beamed, the elect and the 1/3 to get beamed up out this piece, man. Because this is not life. This is not what the Lord designed for life to be. This is Esau's vision of life, which is a death, a culture of death. Okay? That's why it says he is as death. It doesn't just mean that he's a killer. No, he creates an environment of death. When he's in rulership, he creates an environment of death. The food becomes polluted, the air becomes polluted, the water becomes polluted, your relationships become polluted, your children becomes polluted, everything becomes polluted and toxic because he is as death. Everything associated with death is what he brings. Okay? It says, and cannot be satisfied. Going to the point that I was saying earlier about how if you don't work for it, it's not gratifying. If you don't earn it, it doesn't really mean anything. Now, we're not talking about like a gift, like when somebody who works hard to give you something that's special to you, you know, or a friend of yours, and they give you something that has value, and you cherish it based off of the fact that they did something for you. And that's something else of itself too. To be able to value another person to the point to where you value what they gave you. This devil don't even do that. You see? It says, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. So that's the game plan. He wants to control everything and everybody. All right. And he was given the power to do that. And I'm about to show you. All right. And the only way out of this is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. This is Revelation, the 6th chapter. All right. So Revelation 6:3 it says, and I heard, and when he held open the seal, I heard a second beast saying, come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and the power was given unto him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. You see? A great sword. So the sword is a killing weapon. Okay? Give me 1 second, Aki. Slack you. You see? So, who was this person that sat on a red horse that was given a great sword? Well, let's go into the scriptures and see. So when you go back to Genesis, I believe it's the 28th chapter. It's the 27th chapter. All right. This is Genesis 27-38, and it says, "And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even on me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, because his devil sold his birthright. He said that he said in his heart he despised his birthright. Okay? So he sold it. And his birthright was the kingdom of heaven and rulership forever and ever and ever. All right? And then 39, and Isaac his father answered him and said, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. You're going to live in the best places. Okay, this is why he's in every goddamn country in the world, taking their land and their resources. And of the dew of heaven from above, you're going to be in luxury. You're going to live well. Okay, and by the sword thou shalt live. Okay, didn't they say that there was a horse that was red that had a great sword? Okay, there it is. And thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. That's the days that this devil has the dominion now. Okay, now I want to get this one last precept, because I want to show you that he's red. This is Genesis 25-23, and it says, And the Lord said unto her, Two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and one people shall be stronger than the other. Right? This is why Jake has so much more creativity and the ability to contribute to society in a great way. Okay? Because the strength wasn't just physical, it was a spiritual strength. You see what I'm saying? That Esau was just not given. All right? And it says, And it says, And the Lord sent unto each, and one shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. Verse 24, and it says, And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Okay? They say he came out red. So let's just real quick, we're just gonna put this into Google and see who is Esau. All right, now let's go to these images. Now, who do you see? You see the white man, and I actually have this book, Who is Esau Edom? And it gives a history of who he is, where he migrated to, by his own scholars. You see? So, Esau is a so-called white man. Who's the one that's in power? That's the red horse, who's been given the great sword. That is the one that covet fields and take them by violence. That is the one that does not do well, so sin lieth at the door. This is why they do everything and take everything by violence and lie and deceive. Because they weren't given the blessing to do well. They were created to be the wicked. All right? And the sooner y'all jakes understand that, perhaps maybe the sooner y'all come back to the truth and start doing what's right in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Y'all still want to be like this nigga, man, and emulate what he does. You see, Jake has adopted his culture of death, and that's why Jake murdering each other like crazy. You know, you may sit there and say Jake black on black crime and all this bullshit, you know. But when you sit there and compare the amount of death that Esau is responsible for to the earth, the killings that Jake do amongst each other becomes absolutely minuscule in comparison. I'm not saying that they're right, that they're wrong, or I mean not that they're right. Jake is right for doing that, but just showing you the volume of this man dropped atomic bombs and bombs on people. Jake ain't got no goddamn bombs. This man create tanks and war machines that blow up entire cities. He gonna wipe out heads of state because they won't cooperate with what he wants them to do. So he sends somebody to go take them out. You see? He's the one who created the abortion culture, put the drugs and the guns in Jake's community. He's the one that perpetuates war. He's the one that puts the poison in the food and the air and the water. He's the one that broke up the family. He's the one that created all this shit that Jake is going through right now. Him. So when you compare Jake and what Jake does amongst themselves, the rob, killing, murder, compared to what this devil has done, it's nothing. This is why this devil is going to be wiped out in the kingdom. Because you cannot compare anything compared to the crime that this devil, the crimes this devil have committed.